Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and those beyond the binary. This is The Between. My name is Alex Rabitsky, and I will be the keeper for this gothic tale. My hunters may introduce themselves.
Hi there, my name is Wes Franks. My pronouns are he, they. You can follow me at ThirstTrapMoth on Twitter. And for this evening, I am playing Ross Fontenot, the American.
Hello everyone, I'm Meg. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a DM's Guild writer, and you can follow me on Twitter at Suneviel. And for tonight, I will be playing Carla Host. At your service.
Hi, my name is Jordan Fries, or Upgraded Moon. I am an actor and musical composer, and tonight I am playing the Mad Dr. Cal Murdoch.
Hi, my name is Shelby or Whistle. My pronouns are she, they, and I'll be playing Pyra Rivia, the legacy of Hargrave House.
Shelby's back this week.
Yay!
Yay!
Shelby's back with swords. The chat is loving this. Shelby's back with swords.
Fucking vengeance.
It's pretty fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Before we begin tonight, always we got to get some pre-show announcements out of the way. First of all, special thanks to our friends over at Session Zero Clothing and Accessories. They got really cool tabletop streetwear, stickers, a bunch of cool stuff. Go check them out at session-zero.com. You can use the promo code FAILSAFE for 10% off your order. And we also have a couple of donation links. If you want to donate to the show, we have a Stream Elements tip link that is down below in our cards. That is for the cast and crew of the stream you are currently watching. If you donate to this while we are live, the proceeds there go directly back to the 5 of us. Otherwise, you're welcome to donate to our coffee link, which is also down below. That is for general channel support. And actually, I'm really liking Wes's interpretive dance of this right now. That's pretty fantastic. Thank you, Wes.
If you give us money, I'll get more costumes.
That's the selling point right there.
If you give us money, this will be a real sword.
Dear
Not
God.
a practice sword.
I'll do a little dance for you.
Dear God.
My dollar.
But with that out of the way, I think we should dive into this week's chapter of The Between. So everybody buckle up and let's get right to it. We will be back after our brief intro. Stay tuned. Previously, our hunters of Hargrave House had a rather lackadaisical but altogether still productive morning and afternoon. Carla, Dr. Murdoch, and Mr. Fontenot all had their individual run-ins and such like. Dr. Murdoch, after a productive night, I would say, of gathering parts for the child, had a waking dream where he met a young man who referred to himself as Greco, the second-sighted boy. Carla and Dr. Murdoch also went over to Cremorne Gardens, where they engaged in some leisure, and where Dr. Murdoch met Greco, the second-sighted boy, who gave him some omens and visions and fortunes and stuff. While Carla spoke with some witnesses, and same deal with Dr. Murdoch, of the creature of Cremorne Gardens. Meanwhile, Mr. Fontenot, who had a caller that morning, an American gentleman by the name of Winslow Taggart, who worked with the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, wanted to collect his bounty and bring him back to the States. And that we introduced the Pinkerton threat, which, as I explained, from the perspective of Mr. Fontenot, Winslow Taggart has a reputation for being involved in seedy, like side gigs and not altogether not legal business dealings. So the question for the Pinkerton threat is to figure out what shady angle Winslow Taggart is working on the side, so you can blackmail him with it, so he'll leave you be and return to America. So that's what's going on there. Our hunters also answered a question regarding the Limehouse Lurker. They decided what its home life was like, and they rolled a correct theory, but with a complication. That complication being a large police presence in Limehouse is going to be out and about this evening, and they will also require live bait to draw the child out. There was a wonderful standoff between Ross and Winslow, but we ended at the beginning of a dusk phase before we went into anything. So we're gonna finish that off, and now that Shelby is here, we can also get her input in all the things to come. So we resolved the playbook moves at the start. Ross rolled his quickening check. I believe you rolled
7 to 9.
7 to 9.
I'm drained.
You're drained. And Dr. Murdoch, you are not going to be engaging in night work this evening? Very
no,
well.
not this evening. He's gonna assist in either taking care of the child or seeing to other business. Actually, I think he will help take care of the boy or girl, the vampire.
We'll get to that in a moment. The next step, though, as always, we need to learn a little bit more about Hargrave House. So I'm going to pick a room, and we're going to have
I also have my cosmic passage thing I need to resolve.
Oh, was that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to roll to see if I gain the condition bloodthirsty or not.
Thank you for reminding me. So go ahead and roll with presence.
Would you consider that? Well, no, actually, I don't have any more conditions.
You only have most beloved, but that doesn't impose disadvantage on this roll, I'd say.
Yeah. But I thought I still had out of your depth for some reason.
I think that one got cleared after the opium hangout.
Yeah. I think Ross helped me knock that one. Thanks, Ross.
Ross is a good doctor, not a good person, but a good doctor.
That's
What'd you roll?
Was a 7, but I have a negative in presence, so it's a 6.
Oh my!
I don't know what that means, but a 7 to 9.
Let's see. Let's read the move here. Your connection to the beast has grown at the start of the dusk phase. Roll presence on a 10+. You take advantage on your next roll with the condition there. On a 7 to 9 is above, but take the condition bloodthirsty. Once the beast is resolved, it seems like I don't think anything happens. It is no impact. Nothing happens because of the failed roll. Yep.
That's fine. I don't know what this condition does, and I'm not sure I want it. I just didn't want to die.
Fair enough. Do you so you don't want to bump up the roll and to be bloodthirsty but get the advantage?
Well, actually, I'm gonna fight a vampire maybe tonight. So that actually.
Oh man, that'll be fun. Up to you.
God damn it! You're making that was a good point. I forget that I'm not playing normal Pyra and I'm playing a much more fucked up Pyra than I'm used to playing.
Yeah.
A much more fucked up Pyra.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at. I got some posts here. It says that a failed roll is a reaction from the keeper, so I will still react, but like nothing. But there is no like fail condition specific to that move. Just to clarify. So like if you want to bump it up and get the condition and the advantage, go for it. Otherwise, if you're fine with it,
you know what? We're gonna do that. I hold on a Mask of the Past in order to bump it up, but I'd like to ask to narrate my thing until after the night phase.
Yeah, it's totally fine. We'll do it at the dawn phase. Which one are you marking? Mask of the Past, you said?
Yep. Narrate a flashback to the first time a family member grieved. They could not give you more.
That's going to be a great flashback later. Let's do that. All right, cool. Well, then you'll bump it up. So you can go ahead and mark down the condition bloodthirsty. But on the upside, you get advantage on your next roll that you will make, and you describe what aspect of the beast you feel helping you. So actually, I'll ask you, like, what aspect of the beast do you feel helping you on this night?
Beast has always been something that thrives in the dark. And as Pyra, she's going to be engaging in hunting this thing this evening. The beast has always been described as something as shadowy, wispy, and as I am wandering through these streets, I can feel these shadows seeping into my skin. It was driving me forward.
Very cool. I love that. Well, let us resolve then a little paint the scene question about Hargrave House. I'm going to choose, I think this is actually very fitting given one of the flashbacks we did at the end of last session, the conservatory. A former hunter in residence turned out to be the legendary killer known as Roger the Reaver. This was his favorite room in Hargrave House. Looking around, how do you know that? This is the conservatory.
There is an entire, like, it's not a cupboard, but it's more like a crate of puzzles. Something like word puzzles, Da Vinci Code, containers, anything and everything that's set up with riddles and the like that, of course, he created a paper trail of his own for. They were always demented.
There's a bush of dark red roses, which were his favorite thing to garden within this conservatory. They were also his signature that was left behind at every single one of his kills.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool.
There is a loose floorboard in this conservatory. And when that floorboard is pried up, you can see what used to be little locks of hair that were the trophies he kept from his victims. Still sticking up through the floor. They just haven't gotten them all out. Hard to find good help at Hargrave House.
There is a wall in this conservatory that's just full glass, and it's perfect. It is not scratched, dented, cracked at all, except for at the very end, there's a place where it seems like there's permanent footsteps where feet have ground themselves into the wood. And there is a wooden column where you can see that there's literal claw marks, like someone has dug their fingernails into it. And right at like 5'9", 5'8", there just seems to be a little spider web of cracks in the window, as if somebody had intently stared and bore a hole through the window.
Wow. You all are killing the paint the scene questions in this game. I'm here for it. Well, thank you all very much. We move on. As always, during the dusk phase, we're all going to go around here and everyone gets a single statement of what their hunter will be doing during this upcoming night phase. After everyone has spoken, we will get a round of revisions if you so please. Let's start with Wes.
Well, Ross hasn't felt very connected to this Limehouse Lurker case, none too much. So he is going to go ahead, and even though he feels a bit drained, he has never left a good woman out expecting him. So he is going to go ahead and go forth with his date that he has this evening against his better judgment.
For sure. Understandable. All right. Carla, what are you doing?
Promised Jenny I'd take care of this. I'm taking care of the Limehouse Lurker tonight.
Dr. Murdoch. Also going to be taking care of, I think that's what you said last time you were thinking about doing, Limehouse Lurker?
Yeah, but if we have two people going there that he might not be needed for, I might do another thing of night work.
Okay.
Are you guys feeling it? Like, do you guys?
Hey, brother, child, do it.
Do it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm only asking because then I would be taking the entirety of the unseen, and if you.
I want to see the child like completed. Like me, Shelby, the player, wants to see this, and I like how you do the paint the scenes.
Let the girls handle the vampire. I think we got
Bet
this.
you won't.
We got this.
Bet you won't.
You don't.
Bet you won't. Bet you won't.
Fuck you. Let's do some night work. We're gonna do some night work.
Can you fight the vampire with vitality, Ross? No, fuck you. I'm gonna kill it.
Night work it is, I guess.
You two are more than capable. Puts on his little funky hat. I'm gonna go do some night work.
All right, fantastic. Second night in a row of night work. Alrighty. Let's see then. We don't have any Janus Mass prompts in the resolving, so it is time for me to introduce the unseen. And let's see. I looked at these in advance, but I'm like, oh, there's so many good ones. Here's what I'm gonna do. This one is a very intriguing one that we haven't done yet, and there might be some fun parallels here. Tonight's unseen is called Madame Morvaine's Boy Tour. Powdered princelings and delightful demigods, all agape for your amusement. Madame Morvaine's famous guidebook is a walking tour of all the best male prostitutes in London. Ship Captain Jackson Flint Broadmoor has just come in for a 3-day port of call, the well-worn guidebook clutched beneath his arm. That is this evening's Unseen. And let us move on. Oh my. Let's move on to the night phase.
The look on Jordan's face when that was said was hilarious.
I know Jordan's going to have don't do that face. Please don't do that face.
It's about to get awesome.
Okay, Wes,
let me introduce you all to someone named Mason Allen.
No, don't.
Oh no! Oh no!
Don't bring your Call of Cthulhu character into this. This is debased.
No, do it. I need
I'm made for this. He's a little New York twink prostitute boy from 1910. So he's not in this time yet.
Wes, I like how the one word you're uncomfortable with is agape.
Everything else I'm down with. Like all of that, that's like I'm like, sign me the fuck up, please.
Yeah. Alrighty,
gosh.
Then let us resolve the first unseen prompt then, Jordan. So under Madame Morvaine's, your first prompt is Prince Louis, powdered, soft, covered in yards of satin and lace, invites Captain Broadmoor into his boudoir. What distinctly feminine touches do we see in Prince Louis's room?
While he may be a prince, this room is filled entirely with it's very much like a princess vibe. Like the bed is this enormous frame that is in the shape of a circle, with its own custom mattress and the like, with these pretty lavender sheets that kind of hang over it. It's all satin. It's all very smooth and very pretty with little frills at the bottom. The window in this room is one of the most distinct parts, as it's this beautiful stained glass of a woman kind of in this very... the woman herself looks to be draped over something, though the glass is not specific as to what that might be. And just the ceiling is this incredible, almost like I'm blanking on the name of the fellow who painted on the ceiling. Was that wasn't Da Vinci?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Okay, Michelangelo.
Yeah, the Sistine
okay.
Chapel. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ceiling is just full of just these Michelangelo type paintings as well. It screams royal. Everything about it just screams royal.
Feminine royal. I love it. Great. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Alrighty, let's frame up. I think we should just start right away with Carla and Pyra. I mean, why not? Let's go ahead and jump with you two. So, all right. We're going to be in Limehouse. We'll start off, we'll frame off all this thing. I'll first ask you two, by the way, for this evening, how are you preparing yourselves? What is your bearing as night falls over London?
Night falls over London. Carla is in her room and she is tossing clothes onto her bed. And she's once again putting aside her gown and she's donning a smart jacket and long pants and a tight bun and a hat. And she sits on the edge of her beautiful canopy bed and starts putting on her shoes.
There's a lot of noise from Pyra's room, a lot of metal on metal as she is going through her arsenal. Throwing a few, just quickly whittling a few pieces of wood down into stakes, sharpening her rapier, or her sabers, sorry, not her rapiers. Waiting for Carla to say she's ready.
I love it. And then the two of you make your way through the dark London streets to the Regent's Canal dock in Limehouse, and the bobbies are out in full force this evening. I'm going to do something a little unorthodox just for the sake of them. I want to do a little cutaway scene for a moment. Elsewhere in London, as a little bit of a contextualizing for this added complication this evening. We see like kind of like the dingy police bullpen of like a local precinct for this like Limehouse, and we see the desk in the bullpen where Police Constable Lansing works, and you see that his desk has like a bunch of papers on it, and like you know, looks like he's been rigorously trying to find evidence of things going on in Limehouse. Like, he's had all these suspicions and inklings, but he has found nothing but closed doors and people unwilling to talk. And he's sitting there frustrated with his brow furrowed, and we pan across and see a pair of well-polished shoes kicked up on the edge of his desk, and we pan further over to see a pair of black pants, a suit, and a billycock, and a little haze of cigar smoke as we see Winslow Taggart sitting across from him and saying, "Now, Constable Lansing, let me just make it very clear. I want to support your work, and I've heard, little inklings here and there, I suppose you could say, of, some murders in Limehouse. That, you may have met a scarred woman you mentioned. Yes, she works with an establishment I'm semi-familiar with as of late, and I think it would be quite in your interest to keep a close eye on these darkened streets. She and her friends mean a lot of trouble, I'm sure." And you see Police Constable Lansing just nods, and we cut over to him leading a force of bobbies through the streets of Limehouse this evening, vigilantly looking for any signs of trouble. And before we pan over to Ross, Carla and Pyra, I want to hear like a little bit from you, because similar like the dressing, but also like in moving around the streets of Limehouse and preparing to deal with this vampire and lure it in however you desire to do so. What is your like when you're maneuvering through the streets, and like what are you doing to like deal with this police presence?
Alleys.
Sticking to alleyways?
Sticking to alleyways.
I feel like Pyra has a pretty decent, decent mental map of the alleys of London, just because this has been her job for so long.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
I think
she'd be sticking to alleys.
I think Carla's trying to. She's staying close to Pyra, but there's only so much she can do. Carla knows she attracts attention, so it's very much along the case of she's like eyes forward, moving quickly, very much that like, I'm in a big city, I have a place to be, don't fuck with me, because we both have better places to be.
I love that.
I like to imagine Carla as being much more the face on the streets while I'm like in the shadows. Seems to be how we work.
I'm actually going to break the formula for the 9 phase we've been doing a little bit. I'm actually going to have you two take action straight off the bat. Just because of the particularly dangerous situation you guys are currently in. I'm going to ask that Pyra, you make a night phase roll plus your composure for the sake of staying out of sight and like low key. I will ask you in advance, what are you afraid of happening here?
I think being found by one of the bobbies. That spells direct trouble for me, because I get back to my uncle, and that means I'm in trouble.
I think it's going to be worse than that, because you will also be found by the Limehouse Lurker, who still remembers the cut of your whip from a few nights ago.
Yeah, that was an 11 plus 1 for my composure.
Oh my! I actually, I think Bloodthirsty would get in the way of this, actually. So I was going to ask you to roll with disadvantage. So just go ahead and roll an extra die.
But
Oh,
she had advantage.
You did have advantage on the next roll, so you would just we keep
Flat
that roll.
Okay.
We fly the roll.
I'll take that because that other dice I rolled was a 1.
An 11. All right, we'll address the results of that in the next
That was a 12.
round. Oh,
12.
a 12.
Because I rolled an 11, but my composure is a 1. So
Amazing. Okay, we'll resolve that in the next phase. As for you, Carla, I'm going to ask you to do something similar. This is going to be a night phase, but this is plus your presence. You're very disarming. Yep. You want to walk through streets. So what are you afraid of happening here, Carla?
This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
She's afraid that she guessed the vampire's sire incorrectly.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say it's worse than that because... I'm thinking of how to phrase this because this is interesting. Tell me what you think of this. It's worse than that because no, you did kind of guess correctly, but it's the worst possibility that you may have considered.
Mm-hmm.
It is like this is like the worst one.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll
plus presence
for be disarming. That's a really cool angle on that. I love that.
Well, I would say I'm leveraging my appearance here. Absolutely.
Yeah, you are because you're trying to be disarming.
So that is tasty. That is a 9 plus 3.
It's a 12.
So that's
Oh
also
my
a
God.
12.
Okay, we will resolve these next round. Let's
fucking always get the girls together. Look what happens.
Let's cut away from this scene for now, and we're gonna jump over to Ross. Mr. Fontenot, you tell me how you are preparing for your date at Cremorne Gardens this evening.
You see Ross is putting on instead of like putting on a fine kind of, he doesn't want to overshadow Clara. I believe her name's Clara.
Clara.
Doesn't want to overshadow her at all. So he's going to put on like a nice, but just like like a vest, shirt, hat, just kind of look very like put together, but not showy at all.
I love that.
And you can see the entire time he is like, there's like a rubber ball. It was like a little rubber ball that he's squeezing multiple times, and it looks like it's like about to like rip in half as he's kind of clammy. And you can just kind of hear that rumbling in his chest occasionally.
Yeah, feeling very drained. To our distinguished guests listening at home who might be familiar with the Between, I need you to know that I picked the name Clara for this hotel worker, and I am so desperately fighting the urge to make this Clara a certain Clara Yarborough. If you know, you know. And I'm just gonna not comment on that for the time being, and we'll see how that goes. All right, and I assume you very gentlemanly you walk to Cremorne Gardens with her, like arm in arm kind of thing.
Yeah, gotta go meet her and walk with her arm in arm, everything like that, doing the gentlemanly thing, walking on the side that's facing the street, all that good stuff, and just answering any decent question that she has, dodging the ones that are too pressing.
Yeah, she's asking all about where are you from? You're from America, you mentioned. That's exciting. Indeed. It's particularly interesting. So you like one of those what's the word I'm looking for here? Wild West kind of like cowboys, shooting shows?
Not exactly. I'm more of the nickname's Grappling. Ross Fontenot.
Why do they call you Grappling?
I'm more of a wrestler, of a wrangler, so to speak.
I see.
I'm very good at keeping people and animals in very compromising positions of power. For me, that is. I stay on top.
I have to say that hearing those words is just like the way you phrase that. She's gonna get a little color in her cheeks. Like, yeah. She says, well, that's very exciting. So you what brings you to London?
Some old friends told me I should see it, and so I figured, what the hell, come on over. Might make some new friends. Might meet somebody very interesting, and Might introduce some people to a new form of entertainment.
So, but like bowling.
Exactly like bowling.
Well, I've only ever heard about it. I'm excited to see what's all the, the hubbub about it, I suppose. And
it's easy to get a handle on. Don't worry too much.
Well, I would imagine so. There's like holes in the bowl, I've heard. And you're walking towards the riverfront canal, and you see the lights of Cremorne Gardens. You hear the buzz of crowds and the music playing, and indeed the central pagoda dance platform is packed with like a couple thousand people, all just dancing and to the music and having a wonderful time. People walk through the promenade with like glittering glasses in hand, drinking wine and getting not too politely sloshed and such like. And you take her over to the bowling hall, and we'll get to that in a minute. I think that's a great place to end this stretch of the night phase. So Jordan, the next unseen prompt for you is Anthony the Adonis, whose body is rubbed with golden powder. How do we know Anthony is dying of consumption?
One of the biggest factors with Anthony when he goes out on stage, his sort of whole ordeal is that he goes on to the stage in front of several hungry men and women alike to stare and gawk at him. One thing is that his muscular frame is defined, much so in a way that it is not healthy. He is dehydrated, and he is skinny beyond reason, where there's not really much even in his face at all. His eyes remain sunken in, and his teeth almost sort of poke out of his lips a bit. Up close, it's a little grotesque, but when he stands from far away, it's not noticeable. You just see this slim-framed, muscular man on a stage, and if you pay just enough, you might be able to get close, but only if the lights are off.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Heading back over into the night phase. So, jumping back to Carla and Pyra. I'm going to resolve each of your individual rolls here. So you both rolled 12s on the night move, which
always get the girls together.
Always get the girls together. Let's
Apparently.
go, girls.
The vampire and the monster killer.
Yeah,
Who knew?
right.
Who knew?
You do what you intend, or you hold steady. I will give you some extra benefit or advantage, but you describe what it looks like. So we'll start with Pyra. Pyra, you set the scene as you stalk the darkened alleyways and evade sight. Narrate this for me and give us some fun detail.
It's just as I described earlier, with this feeling of the shadows seeping into her, and she's becoming one with the darkness that has fallen over London. Pyra stalks through these alleys with an almost inhuman silence. Her feet don't make a sound as it rustles the cobbles. And after a while, you realize she's not even on the ground anymore. She has climbed up onto the roofs, much like she did the day previously. And she is like a cat stalking their prey, just slowly creeping on her, like on all fours, crawling along these rooftops, keeping her footing, just waiting for the slightest glimpse of her prey.
Here's the benefit I'm going to give you, is because you rolled a 12, and it's as you stalk these rooftops, you can feel your heart like beating in your chest, just this. And this quiet, steady movement, slinking along rooftops like a cat. You feel your heartbeat slow even further. And you feel this kind of darkness as it seeped into you from the streets of London. Not calm you, but suppress you, clinging around you like a cloak that reduces these base instincts into this shell of surety and calmness. You may remove the bloodthirsty condition.
fuck yeah. Got the benefit. Now get the fuck out of here.
Nice.
Carla, same deal with you. Describe to me what your disarming walk through Limehouse around all this police presence is like.
She slips through just people, and there's still people out at this hour, of course. People, you know, on the streets paying for services, and there's police. But as she's walking, she's just calm and present. And as someone, you know, as a police officer stops her, she's just, darling, I'm on my way for a wonderful night. Don't worry about me. And she kind of says that to everyone that she meets. Just this shadow in the night.
I feel like actually I'm just gonna go ahead and oh, actually I have two options for you. Here, I'll do a little group, just like let us kind of like decide which of these one to go with. I will either let you clear unwelcome reminiscence, or I will let you find we'll give you a personal quarters item.
Ooh.
I'm leaning like those are the two I was like looking at. I was like, ooh.
Honestly, I think she I'm gonna take the personal quarters item.
Okay, cool. Then I'll let you kind of narrate, similar to the way that, like, you know, there are moves. It's like, oh, you find a clue and you tell the keeper what it is. Like, what on Carla's walk through the Regent's Canal dock does she find of interest to her that she keeps?
I think she is going to pick up a sailor's charm.
Ooh.
Just like a little something that the sailors keep on them for
like
good
a
luck.
little whalebone charm.
Yeah, like a little whalebone charm.
Little whalebone charm. I love that. All right, you may put a whalebone charm in your personal quarters. Excellent. So frame this up for me, ladies. We have Pyra stalking the night dark, and Carla. It sounds like Pyra is lying in wait, or might possibly be the bait anyway. Like the baiting thing will come to play.
I feel like me and Carla may have already had the discussion, because I would have been like, I'll be the bait.
Yeah, absolutely. Like she's gonna be baiting. So I think that leaves you with setting up as the opportunity that you guys unlocked is. So I will ask you. Let me refer to the sheet again if I can find it. There it is. The opportunity of us creating this scene reminiscent of its home life. Now, we had a very fun theory, which let's recap that just so we can kind of refresh our brains. I believe what you incorporated was that it had parents that were opium addicts who overdosed and died in Jenny Johnston's opium den. Was a kid at the Limehouse school. They're go ahead.
Very religious family.
Very religious family. That was like the signs of three things: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Missing body parts, and like the tenement. They lived in like an abandoned, like, well, they lived in a tenement, but it's now since like abandoned. It's like full of bats and like all this like fun little details. And they've mostly been murdering out of like this urge of like afraid, but they've also been using it to kill some people who were unkind to them and other children. So I will ask you, what scene reminiscent of its home life does Carla want to set up for the Limehouse Lurker?
I think she is going to go. She's going to find another abandoned tenement home, one that is on the lower floor. And she has brought candles, and she has brought religious-esque iconographies. She's brought some toys. And she is going to set up an altar. And she's going to light the candles, and she is going to wave some incense, and she's going to set out the toys in front of a makeshift kind of pew. Like it nothing here is Christian.
No,
like it doesn't look like a Christian ritual, but it looks religious. And she's going to set out some flowers, and she is going to sit in the pew waiting for someone to join her for mass.
Very good. And Pyra, what are you doing to present yourself as bait now that you're positioned on the rooftops? You know where Carla is. Maybe you can even see her from your like rooftop position, like arranging this space. But what do you do? Because as the complication, aside from the police presence here, what are you doing to bait the child with blood?
Well, it seems like the best way to draw a hungry vampire out is to offer to feed it. So I take a knife out and I cut my hand and let the scent of blood waft off me, and I wait.
Mm-hmm. And when the child does appear, I will ask you, what is Pyra's plan? To begin sprinting with it in pursuit to get to the location? Or what are you thinking she's gonna do once she has its attention?
Wait for it to get close enough to me to start killing it. I'm intentionally trying to get it to come to me to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm intending with the whole drawing my blood. Waiting.
Well, you know that with the opportunity of we unlock specifically is you do have to lure it into the trap Carla has laid to get it to be passive. So I'm more asking like
I think she'll try and in that context then she'll
or is she on the roof of the building Carla's in and she plans to climb down?
I was assuming that I was waiting to ambush this thing and Carla was trying to draw it there.
It's both. It's both. It's like you're trying to lure it here so it'll be vulnerable and you'll have the opportunity. It sounds like you two have conflicting outcome goals, but the methods of achieving either of those goals is still the same. It needs to be lured to this location.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I mean it could just be that you're on the roof of this building and like.
Basically, if it comes to the roof, I'm going to try and kill it. If it goes in there with Carla, I mean, I'm gonna follow it.
Here, can I then propose something?
Yeah.
She spills some blood into a bowl and then puts it on the altar.
Yeah. And then she waits. How about she's climbed down. I'll propose this. She's up in the rafters, like poised in the shadowy rafters above.
I just want to have a vantage point. Absolutely. Is my only thing. Yeah, I want to be up high.
You climb in through the roof, bleed.
So in a roundabout way, both of us are bait, but just weirdly.
Pyra's the one that physically gave blood for this, which is I think what she meant by bait.
Yeah,
I love that.
Fair enough.
All right, let's jump over to Mr. Fontenot. So you were going to the bowling saloon, right?
Indeed.
I've been waiting to play this music for like a couple weeks now. So, stepping inside the American Bowling Saloon, Ross, this is a painful experience for you because the thundering crash of bowling balls hitting their marks surrounds you. There are pinboys darting to and fro. The slightly stilted sound of a barrel piano cranking out a jaunty tune. The paint the scene question for this location is: this place embraces Americana and the idea of the Wild West, but to an American, it would all seem a little off. How do we know that?
There is a portrait hanging above the lanes that is flanked by majestic and large red, white, and blue banners with stars on them. And the portrait in the very middle is a portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The thing is, Abraham Lincoln does not have the right hair color. Abraham Lincoln has red hair in this portrait for some reason. And the nose looks a little bit off.
This is a paint a scene, so we all get something, right?
Yeah, everyone can contribute here.
Oh, God.
Great, I love that.
Okay.
We're all American, so this is a great exercise for us. Yeah.
I have one that's so good. That's just actually one that one of my European friends told me about.
Do it.
Just obnoxious horse imagery everywhere. Just random, like along like the walls on the wallpaper. It's just like running horses and sheriff stars. It's just obnoxious.
The food is not right. In every way, it is not right. It's not seasoned right. It's not cooked right. It doesn't smell right. it looks about right, but it doesn't. The texture and the taste and the spices are just not there, and it's the worst.
They need Ross's Creole seasoning.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, shit! Shots fired.
They have an actor there. This man with one of the biggest hats that you've ever seen, one of the biggest cowboy hats, walks in, and he's going to different tables with a horrific southern accent. Like it's like a southern accent by someone who really just doesn't give a shit about doing a southern accent.
Allow me to give an example.
Do a Cockney? Please,
because
please.
I had a British friend who tried to do a southern accent, and it's like, howdy there, partner.
Oh God.
Put him up.
Oh God.
That's
Matter
what
of
it's
fact-
like talking to my friends.
That's what he says, and when he comes up to like one of the tables, like there's, while it is a saloon, there are like some kids there who are like with their parents at the table. It's like some fucking cowboy Chuck E. Cheese at this point. He goes, now put him up, and he like puts like 6 up like one of these like fake little revolvers, and he clicks it, and like some like little. Like I almost said spaghetti, confetti.
Yeah,
it could be spaghetti too. This place could just be fucking messy as shit.
It's confetti. I love that.
Just like little confetti, like pew pew. Everyone's like, oh, that's rather quaint. Yes, very American. Yes, good. Yeah, just this over glorified Southern actor.
Absolutely fantastic. Great. So, with that said, Clara is like looking around, like kind of like intrigued. And I'm sorry. I will add one more detail just because there's a cow skull somewhere in here. There has to be. It's just a big old cow skull mounted somewhere. Yeah. There has to be. But yeah, Clara's just like, this is all. Does this remind you of home?
Dreadfully.
Well, I don't know much about bowling, but I'd certainly love to watch you and pick it up in a moment. I'd love to see the ropes, as it were.
Don't worry, Miss Claire. I feel like you are going to be the only port in this storm of Americana, so I'm going to cling tight to you and show you exactly how to bowl.
Oh, well, this is quite exciting. Let's get a little cheeky, and I'll have this. This is a light and fun location. We'll have this be a day move. It's a pretty safe area, so it's like there's not a heightened thing of danger here yet. I'm gonna make this is gonna be a day move. What? Are you trying to bowl well, or are you trying to bowl impressively?
I'm trying to bowl impressively.
Okay.
I'm trying to
like trick
make
shots
sure
and all
that
that.
Clara has a good time.
So like you're doing like trick shots and all that, like amazing. So I'm gonna have you do
both
this.
of the legs, things of that nature.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually have this be plus your presence. Obviously, you have disadvantage because you're drained.
Okay.
And you're also shaken, so that applies here. So what are you afraid of happening here if you should fail to impress Clara with your bowling?
I'm afraid that I'm going to get left behind. I'm afraid that Claire's going to get bored and just leave me in this bowling alley all to myself, this bowling salon.
Absolutely incredible.
Saloon.
All right, go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
All right. Again.
Oh, man.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
What are we looking at?
I rolled 2 5s and a 6.
Okay.
So we've got an 11.
Wow.
That's
well,
great.
Wait, what's your modifier to presence?
A +1.
It's a 12.
That's
No.
Oh wait,
because I rolled with disadvantage, so I got a 10 because I got 2 5s.
Oh,
yeah.
2 5.
That was
That's right.
11.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard the 6. And I was like, oh, fun. Okay, yeah, cool. Then that's an 11. Right on. So yeah, give me the bowling montage. Of what this looks like.
You're just gonna see Ross like grabbing balls between the legs, no looks. There's gonna be one where he's gonna ask Clara to stand like right in the middle of like the lane, and is going to somehow like do a slide and bowl like right around her, things of that nature. Just having a good time, drinking a whole pint while doing it, things of that nature. Bowling and rolling a strike in somebody else's lane, that kind of thing. just having a jovial good time. And you can kind of tell, you can see, even though he still looks a little bit clammy, there's a little bit more color to his face, and he's just enjoying himself and just having an absolute, like, I think for the first time in a long time, having like an actual proper good time. Like,
and yeah, like Clara's like clapping excitedly, and she's like into it, and she throws her a few shots of her own, and you're in this a moment of elation of such a good time, and you feel a hand pat on your back and says, "Hope you don't mind if a third joins you, Mr. Fontenot."
God damn.
And you look over and you see Winslow Taggart grinning at you with a malicious look, and we're gonna cut away. Let's jump back over to the unseen. So, Jordan, your next prompt is Gianni, an Italian temple, olive-skinned, breathtaking. How do we know Gianni is having the time of his life?
So I like to imagine that this plays out with kind of like the clatter of those bowling pins turned into drinks clattering together, as Gianni and another man kind of like stays in his like special suite, and the special suite is adorned with Catholic memorabilia everywhere. Like above his bed kind of sits like a tiny church bell that every now and then he'll reach back and just like kind of like ding it a little bit. And he laughs and he jokes, and never for a second is it in a performative manner. As the chemistry between Gianni and this other man just kind of click, and you can kind of tell that he's happy. The way that he smiles, it goes into his eyes, and his eyes become practically non-existent every time he clamors, chuckles, guffaws, as they kind of spend the entire night away drinking. And then the man sort of pipes up a bit. If you ever had a moment to try and, live a different life, would you ever? And Gianni just chuckles, and he looks at the man and he says, "My dear, not for a second."
Beautiful.
And he leans in and kind of gives him like a little kiss on the cheek, and then they go and do stuff.
Fantastic. All right, let's jump back over to Limehouse.
What the fuck is my chair doing?
Doing something.
It kept going back down. I was like, "Motherfucker."
I didn't want you to stop that lovely uplifting story.
Oh, I just started sinking. Oh,
Good timing.
fuck it, I'm short now.
Hey,
so
it's not that hard of a life, all right? You just need a tall person to reach the top shelf. It's fine.
There you go.
Please.
You got there.
I'm sorry.
No, it's hilarious. All right, so back over in Limehouse, it's dark. You can hear the movement of the police out in the streets. Occasional police whistle as they stumble upon something that they deserve, or rather they think they deserve to clap down on, whether it be some sort of seedy figures moving about in the dark, or some petty crime that gives them an excuse to beat people with their little clubs. But you stand in the little makeshift room you've made for yourself, and you're up in the rafters, Pyra, and there is a little like breeze that passes, like cold breeze that passes through the area, and in the flickering candlelight, there is a figure crouched at like one of the open windows, small, a little raggedy, pale, dark circles under their eyes. Did we decide if the child was a boy or a girl?
I think we've mostly been he.
Okay, we can go with he.
I think mostly been he.
Yeah, this young boy, in street urchin clothes, with some spatters of blood dribbling down the front, like is cautiously crouched in the window and is kind of like staring at you, but you see his eyes occasionally like flick around the room, somewhat confused, but also like almost invited in, just like unsure, and is just staring at you.
Have you come for mass? Come, sit.
This isn't a church.
Church is what you make of it. A god doesn't care where you pray from, so long as the paraphernalia is correct.
The Limehouse Lurker jumps into the room, kind of like, still kind of like keeping themselves low, crouched, kind of steps around the perimeter of the room. You see hunger in his eyes. You see fear. You see curiosity.
What's your name?
It's actually a really good question. Let me look at the list of like kids from the Limehouse School, and I'll just pick a name. Bennett. My name's Bennett.
And are you afraid?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. No. I don't like what's happened to me. I don't like to hurt people, but I'm so hungry.
She's going to get up off the pews and she's going to kneel down. She kind of looks at the kid, looks at their neck. Oh, Eckhart. You bastard. That man, he wasn't kind to you, was he?
No.
I think she looks up at Pyra.
Pyra, she gives you a look like, do I need to come down? I won't attack, but she's like basically being like, come down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she'll fucking, like, you know how like when you come down from a jungle gym and you hang down by your legs first and you flip down?
Yeah.
She does that.
As soon as you pop down, the child like hisses and like leaps back and like goes up into a corner of the room and sticks up in the corner and just like hisses its fangs at you.
She takes her hands off her weapons. She doesn't have the whip on her. She's like, hey, not gonna hurt you. Letting her handle this. And I'm walking away. Getting away from you. If you're hungry, there's a bowl of blood on the altar. It's all yours. And I will walk to the furthest corner of this room away from the kid.
So we can do this one of two ways. Either I know plenty of people who'd be willing to help get you some food. Plenty. Or we let her take care of this. I don't want to hurt you, but we have to come to a solution. And you know that too.
For the record, I don't want to particularly hurt you either, but I can't really have other people hurting people in London.
I'm going to ask you, Carla, to make a night move.
Okay.
And because you're dealing with it, normally I'd say this would be a night move plus your presence, but because you're dealing with a supernatural creature, you have to do this with sensitivity.
Sensitivity, yep.
And I'm wondering, would unwelcome reminiscence get... Well, you cleared that, didn't... No, you took the item.
No, I took the item.
Yeah, that's right. Would unwelcome reminiscence get in the way of this?
I don't think Carla's ever had bad experiences with other vampires necessarily. But that's up to you.
I'm going to say you do have a disadvantage on the grounds of not from like, oh, bad experience from other vampires. It is, you're still really lingering on like, who the fuck is the sire? Like, who did this kid? Do I know them? Who are they? Who from my past? You're kind of like stuck on that. So I'm going to give you disadvantage unless you can give me a personal quarters items that you would give you advantage on this roll that we can justify.
Actually, I think she's going to take the whalebone charm. And she's going to place it on the altar.
Okay, as like a protective measure.
Kind of like as protective measure, but also like to the kid of like, you know, we're more on your side than not. We are also kind of creatures of the dark.
I see. What are you afraid of happening here?
She's afraid that the child's not going to trust us.
It's worse than that because the sire will show up.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'll fucking
So
kill
you
the
flat
sire
roll
too. What the hell?
2d6.
That's a 6.
A 6. Okay. So let me narrate this outcome first.
Yeah.
Bennett, the Limehouse Lurker, looks at you, still clinging to the back wall, unsure, and he's like, "You say nice words, but other people have said nice words and they only meant to hurt me." Pyra, over by you. You're over like in a dark corner.
Yep. Specifically the furthest one away from the kid.
You hear the creaking timbers up above you. Before you can react, a dark form lunges out from above the rooftop, grabs you, lifts you up into the air, and then slams you back down onto the ground. You take, Pyra, not Carla, the condition battered and bruised as the sire appears in the room as well to deal with this intrusion upon his spawn. Carla, do you wish to live in this reality or avoid it? It's tempting, I know.
It's so tempting to keep it.
Oh, I kind of want it. Fuck.
You want it?
Kinda. I want to fight the sire. That sounds fun.
Honestly, let's get a little dangerous tonight.
Yeah.
Let's get a little dangerous tonight.
Okay.
Let's get a little dangerous.
I'm here for
I
this.
don't know what this condition is going to do to me, but...
Well, you're battered and bruised.
You hurt like a motherfucker.
You hurt like a motherfucker.
Like, this is nothing new for me. It's fine.
Throws you into like a support column that like crashes and like stuff rains down on you. And I'm gonna have let's see. Pyra. This is going to be a night move on your behalf. It's a reactionary one because it sounds like you're fighting the sire. And so I will ask you very simply. It sounds like there's going to be a standoff. And I assume Carla, you feel free to correct me if you disagree with this. Carla is not getting actively involved. She's more standing between the sire and and Bennett, and is just kind of watching. And
she is watching, and she is definitely in the mood of, oh, I know who this is now, and I know there is one person who can deal with this, and it's the woman across from me right now. Okay.
So, Pyra, this is going to be a night move as always. Now, let's see. You cleared Bloodthirsty, but you do have Battered and Bruised now, so that will give you disadvantage. Let's look at your moves again to see if anything here gives you... You get to use Vitality on this roll because you're the Legacy. And do you wish to do this with Gratuitous Violence?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Pyra's been let off the leash, so
then you will actually remove that's only emotional and psychological. Never mind. So you keep the conditions. However, so if you are acting, then we're gonna bump that hunt counter up by 1. So go ahead and do hunt X, bump that up to a 4 now.
Sure thing.
Absolutely. And do you wish to invoke one of the 2 remaining charges of your sabers, or do you just want to check off a personal quarters item for advantage?
Not sure there's anything I can check off for.
Actually, there is. Yeah, like you have the dual sabers. Like, so remember, you do have like the dual sabers can be used 2 more times.
So they can be used as a mod and as a personal quarters.
As a one, they have their limited use modification feature, and it can also be used as a one-time personal quarters item.
Okay, that's where I was a little confused. I'll check out the dual sabers because I think I've gone into hunt mode, I think, so I'll just invoke using them as
All right, so this will be a flat roll then. You're going to do this plus your vitality. What are you afraid of happening here, Pyra?
Him getting past me and hurting Carla. Nothing else matters. I don't give a fuck about myself. I'm worried about my other hunter.
Okay. Oh, how very non-selfish of you. Well, if you don't care about your well-being, I was gonna say it's worse than that because you'll be turned into a vampire. But if you don't care about that, it's worse. I'm accepting. Then I will accept input. Then how is it worse? What is the worst situation here for this failed roll? Well, I'm open to suggestions. How is it worse than Carla and the kid getting? Well, Carla in this case getting hurt.
I would say Carla and the kid probably would be, because now Pyra's like, I want to protect both of them.
I just got an idea. It's worse than that because Carla is going to lose her grasp on the like she has her firm grasp that anchors her as kind of this like living vampire, but she will lose that connection and become more dark and feral, and this will cause her to lash out in some bad way. I love that.
And I mean, I'm fighting 3 vampires and not 1.
Yeah,
Exactly.
be careful.
All right, go ahead and flat roll 2d6 plus your vitality.
Oh fuck! Let me pick that up. That's a 10.
10. All right, you do what you intend and you succeed. Narrate this fight between this sire and Pyra and how it resolves.
So, you said he picked her up and then slammed her down.
Yeah.
She didn't even let him get away from her. One sword right up through his she like reaction pulls one saber right up under the ribs, and as he goes up, she's using that as an anchor to pull herself to. The other sheath comes out of its saber. She tries to plunge it into the collarbone. He parries. She pulls both their blades out. It's a back and forth. It seconds, and there's just the clashing of metal and teeth and claw as she is trying to keep him from her neck, keep his claws away from him. Not sure if I've killed it yet, but
you get some new scars. I'll let you decide. Are you intending to kill this elder vampire?
Abso-fucking-lutely. This thing needs to die. So, if you're allowing me to narrate its death,
yeah,
do it.
Well, after it lunges for her neck and she catches its teeth on her sword, hooking it under, and as she has it kind of held there, she drops one saber, it clatters to the ground far down, sticks into the floorboards, and she goes into her pocket. She gets one of the stakes that she made, and she does with all of her fucking might, shoves forward, hits him into the wall, and plunges that stake deep into his chest, fucking nailing him there.
Nice.
And I think as Carla's watching this, she kind of meets the sire's eyes, and she says in a tongue that whether or not Pyra understands, up to you. But she says, "This is why you don't deal with children. It never ends well."
All right, we're going to cut away from that scene. That's a great place. And let's go over to Ross. So, Ross, you're standing there with Winslow in the bowling alley, who's like looking at you with a grin, and he kind of like and looks at Claire and says, he goes, "Don't I recognize you from someplace?" And she doesn't know what to say. And he looks at you and he says, "Hey, Julius, buddy, why don't we take a walk outside? Yeah, how does that sound?"
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds
great. Ross is gonna turn to Clara and is going to like move close to her, and he's gonna take out his coin purse, and he's gonna pull out a couple of pounds, and he goes, "Clara, darling, won't you go ahead and get us some snacks to take on the road? I think we should take our date this evening elsewhere."
All right, sure. All right, I'll find you outside.
I'll meet you at the front.
Yeah, no, he'll meet you, dollface. Yeah. Walk outside
and
with
Ross is gonna kiss Clara on the cheek, and then he's gonna turn and put a cigar in his mouth and walk out. I would like to roll like a sleight of hand type check to to grab a bowling pin, almost, and like a small bowling ball, because like bowling balls back in the day, they're kind of small.
This is absolutely going to be a night move plus your composure, and you're absolutely going to have disadvantage because of your conditions. But you tell me, what are you afraid of happening here? if you are noticed.
I'm afraid that a Bobby's gonna get involved. The police is gonna get involved or something, and it's gonna complicate things.
It's worse than that because Taggart has brought along with him some people outside who are waiting for you to help make the situation a little bit more complicated. Do you wish to continue with this plan of action?
I do wish to continue with this
All
plan
right.
of action.
You have disadvantage.
Yep.
Roll it.
And I'm rolling with composure.
Yep, plus your composure.
Okay. All right. That is a 5 and a 3 plus 1. That is a 9.
9. I will tell you what the complication or cost of this is, and I will also describe what it looks like. You grab this, but as you like step outside into like the night air with Winslow, he flashes his his like little what's it called, like a dragoon? Let me double check. It's his revolver essentially, but I just want to get the name right. His 1848 baby dragoon revolver. He flashes that under his coat for a second as he reaches past it to grab a little cigarette case and begins to like light up, well, a cigar. And before you walk too much farther, he like puts a firm hand out and stops you, roughly reaches into your under your belt and yanks your big fuck off Bowie knife that you have in your personal quarters, and he says, "Can't have you sneaking anything past me, Ross." And he tucks the knife away. You lose the knife as Winslow takes it from you. Is this the reality you wish to live in, or do you want to bump up the roll?
Yeah, I'll get it back.
We're gonna put on a mask?
No.
Oh,
I want to live in this reality. I'll get it back though.
He takes it back, but you stealthily pick up a bowling ball from the inside wall and you walk out into the promenade with Winslow, and it's the two of you alone, and kind of like walking in like this like going towards like the maze. And he goes, "You got nice friends, Julius. I like them. They're determined, aren't they?"
Yeah, and I don't have to pay for them either.
Fuck you. All right. I'm just saying. We can do this the easy way. We can do this the hard way. We could just hop on a boat. See you back to America. No more trouble. Or I can drag you in kicking and screaming, or I can just, drag you in completely cold. Your family won't be too happy about that, Mr. Fontenot, but the other bounty on your head, the bounty for murder, it's a lot higher, and that one is, that one's dead or alive.
What makes you think that a soft-handed, effete fop like you is going to be able to drag me anywhere?
You got these fancy fucking words, Julius, and they don't mean jack shit. You see that you're definitely getting to him, even though he's trying to, like, not come off. But he goes, okay. Yeah. You know what? I'd do to a punk like you with a mouth like that back stateside? I'll tell you what, it's not too dissimilar from what one of these foppish, limey school marms and schoolmasters would do to a kid with a ruler. Yeah? Gonna pop you in your fucking jaw if you keep talking to me like that. You're the one making this hard. Not me.
I never asked you to come here. I never asked you to come and find me.
Yeah, and those boys didn't ask to be murdered either, did they?
It was a mistake. It happens.
Yeah.
I've done my time.
I've heard, rumors, stories. Not sure if I buy it, but I lean towards it. You want to show me tonight, or you're gonna just keep that under wraps?
Ross is going to move quickly and put the bowling pin under his jaw and hold it up. And Ross is going to look at him and he's going to say, "You haven't earned the right to see what I can do. I have inside me the blood of ancients. I am elder. I have no need to evolve because I am the perfect killing machine. I have no problem with taking your fragile little mortal neck and snapping it between my jaws like a twig. I will eat you in one gulp, Guppy.
Like spits, and like shoves your arm away and goes, yeah. It's a little too public for my liking, Julius.
Mm-hmm.
Got my eye on you. And if you don't take the high road and acquiesce and come with me all quiet like, I'm gonna make your life and the lives of your associates at that freakish house a living fucking hell.
You interrupt another date of mine, I'm gonna make you eat that fucking revolver.
I'd like to see you try. And he takes out like your knife and he goes, nice souvenir. And he's gonna walk away. Let's cut away to our final unseen prompt. So, Jordan, the last boy on the tour, Thomas, a rather plain young man, barely a man, really, who is clean and able. How do we know Thomas is doing this out of desperation?
We actually find that it is early in the morning, where the sun is only just beginning to creep over the waters. And we see Thomas kind of climbing out of the window with a large bag of things, just personal belongings and the like, as he, kind of drops down, kind of takes the drain pipe down the rest of the way, and clambers to the ground as there is another person waiting for him. As he gets closer to the man, you do see Prince Louis kind of wiping the makeup away from his face, very, very quickly and quietly. So do you have them? The tickets, I mean. Yeah, I've got the tickets here. 2 tickets by boat. New York. It's going to leave in about 2 hours. Good. And they were kind of like going this back and forth as they turn to look towards the open windows. The lights begin shutting off at the boy tour, but Thomas's still remains on. As they're walking away, Louis looks over to Thomas and sees that there's a bit of blood on his neck and chin. Oh, did you cut yourself there? Oh, here, Yeah, must have only been a cut. Shaving. And they sort of chuckle on their way out. Looking back into the room, you see none other than Madame Morvain with her head clubbed in and all of her money and belongings taken, stolen. As the 2 boys run to the boats to leave.
Well, that's certainly an ending. Well, thank you. Alrighty then. All right, let's do some denouements.
I think you broke Alec. Jesus.
Yeah, you broke me. I was like, fuck, that's wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They gotta go.
What an arc. Go. Yeah, let's do some denouement. And for Pyra and Carla with the Limehouse Lurker, who I think it sounds like you have you have decided to let this vampire be. Pyra has gotten her killing, or is she planning to kill this vampire too?
I would, if that vampire is not, if the little kid is not making any further aggressive moves after seeing me kill the sire.
No, kid's actually like relieved. Like he is. It's almost like this is like you killed the monster under his bed.
Send him wherever you want to send him, Carla. As long as there's no more killing of Londoners, it's not my business.
She goes over to the corpse of the sire, and for just a brief moment, you watch as little claws jut out of her fingernails and she slashes this thing's throat. That's what you fucking get. And she turns to the kid. Come with me.
Where are we
I
going?
know people. let's just say in many ways, I'm like that man. I'm old, and I know a lot of people, but those people can get you food, and they'll protect you. You're not like me, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to be like me. But you do need a safe place to live if this is how this is going to be. My dear friend simply wants the streets quiet.
Bennett looks over at you, Pyra. This young kid, pale-skinned. He looks at you and he goes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just...
Hi. And I think putting her swords away, mind you, putting all weapons away, and she'll take a couple steps next to Carla, not fully because she doesn't want to scare the kid, but she will kind of get down to his level and be like, it's all right. I know you didn't mean it. No one's gonna find out either, okay? Just
okay.
go with her.
Mm-hmm.
She'll take care of you. And that thing up there won't be bothering you anymore. And I'm sorry that I couldn't kill it before it got to you.
If you forgive me, I forgive you.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good plan.
He looks up at you, Carla, and he just says, I'm hungry.
She takes the blood off the altar in the bowl.
He sips at it.
And
laps
she
it
actually
up.
picks up the kid. And for you, Pyra, this is a little bit more, not surprising, but just, you don't expect Carla to be as strong as she is, but there's a little something else in there.
They're still hungry. Still up the cut.
Mm-hmm.
Can have more if they need it.
I think I can fix that. And if you don't mind if I cut away a little bit.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Carla keeps the kid to the shadows as she walks through London. And nobody pays them mind. The child maybe notes that she's doing a little something here and there, but no one notices this strange sight. And they eventually reach a better part of town. And she goes into the basement, through the front door into the basement, past lines of candles. And there is a young serving girl who rushes up to meet her with her neck exposed. And she puts the child down. Marianne, this one's one of mine, or will be. I'm keeping him under my wing, keep him fed, keep him safe, and keep him out of sight. Get him food, get him water, get him nice clothes, and get him a bath.
Of course, my lady. She bows her head, takes the hand of Bennett.
And Carla goes on her knees down to his level. These people will look after you. I promise.
Who are you?
I am Carla Host. I am old, I am ancient. I was there when the sun was born. I am like the one who turned you. A true creature of the night. And you are now mine. And I will keep you safe.
I think with that, we're going to cut away. It's a great little cut away. And then cut back over to Ross, walking away from Cremorne Gardens with Clara. I'll let you sum up the night for me. What's the conclusion to Ross's evening here?
Ross is very agitated, and Ross is walking very quickly back to the hotel. And I think you see Ross has Clara with arm in his arm, walks right in through the front door, walks up to the desk and goes, "Bottle of champagne and whatever you have sweet-wise up to my room, please.
Right away, sir.
And is going to just lead Clara and go, so you work here. Have you ever stayed here before?
Can't say I have. No, I just washed the clothes here.
Would you like to?
Face immediately flushed. And she says, I don't think she says anything. I think she just kind of like gives a kind of, at first flustered, but then intrigued nod. She goes with you.
And he's going to lead Clara up to his bedroom. He is going to then be very sweet with champagne and everything like that. And then as things escalate, he's going to start getting a little bit rougher, a little bit more thrown around. And the last thing he's going to do is he's going to pull out that alligator toe. And he's going to start just narrating a little bit, talking about gators and their nature and how they wait
like tales.
Yeah, talk,
Gotcha.
yeah, and all this stuff like that. But yeah,
Let me ask you, because I want to be a little cheeky with this. At any point during your raucous, lovemaking, do you do a bit of a intense roll? Like
there's a very intense roll. There's a very intense, like,
one might call it a death roll.
A death roll, maybe. Yeah, a tight grip, a choke, maybe, and then a quick roll, and then things proceed as normal.
We cut to
Fucking
black.
bless this woman down.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bless.
God damn.
God damn.
Fucking lucky
All right.
bitch. Holy shit.
I think that'll bring our night phase to a close. And I think before we resolve any dawn phase shenanigans, we will take a very quick break. And we will come back and resolve all the various things to go over. So, distinguished guests listening at home, stay tuned. We will be right back. See you soon. Welcome back. We move on to the dawn phase. First step is let us collect the rewards from the Limehouse Lurker, since that has now been resolved. All right, here are the 5 available rewards for the Limehouse Lurker, and any hunter can take these. Like, you guys, even if you didn't resolve the threat yourself, you can still take one. So here are the. I'll list these out. First reward. Excuse me. Jenny Johnston becomes a recurring side character. You get 1 extra clue on the information move when you seek her counsel about events in East London. Number 2, the man in the sun mask becomes a recurring side character. You get 1 extra clue on the information move when you seek his counsel about other worlds. Number 3, the vampire becomes a recurring side character if you resolve the threat by making arrangements for it to safely feed on a regular basis. We don't have the factotum in the group, but if the factotum were in the group, they would be added to their Hargrave House Irregulars move. But I will add, Carla, if the vampire becomes a side character, it is now available to be used with Giveth.
Okay, interesting.
That is an option.
Okay.
And then
Fair enough.
the 2 last rewards are a memento from the investigation, ask another hunter what it is, and add it to your personal quarters. I'll Carla and Pyra, I'd say you 2 get first pick, because you were the ones who resolved it.
See, on the one hand, Jenny Johnston is already my worshippers that I invoked, and that's very tempting. But on the other hand, I also have the vampire kid.
Really, I want you to have the vampire kid. That would be you, because the way that you calmed them down was really sweet, and I feel like it already established that plot line. You know.
So I think we'll do the kid. I think we'll do the kid.
Okay.
The vampire.
All right. He is a recurring side character now. Here, which one do you want to take?
Ross, what memento did I take from this? I want you to choose.
You have gained yourself Pyra's got a new necklace that's got 2 sets of teeth dangling from it.
That's cool.
Or you can make it earrings, jewelry that has two sets.
Necklace all the way.
Vampire fang
That's
necklace.
awesome.
That's so cool.
It's an awesome callback for Pyra because I have a wyvern teeth necklace in her original game.
That's so
that's
cool.
awesome.
So
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's
From a
awesome.
wyvern I killed too, so it's awesome.
This is really
Nice.
take that. All right. All right, Wes and Jordan, what do you two want?
Give me that man in the sun.
Oh,
mask,
100%.
100%.
Dear
All right.
God.
He is-
I want him.
yeah, he's fun.
I love him, but he scares me.
All right, Jordan, do you want Jenny Johnston to help or do you want Memento?
So is the memento's not something that we can put in our personal quarters?
No, it is.
Is it?
No, it is. It is.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You know that kid did take a small knitted
You
bear.
have to ask another hunter what the
Oh.
Memento is.
Okay. Okay, I'll leave it out. Who wants to give me a memento?
Sure. I'll do one.
What might that memento be?
I think Carla brings the doctor back after that night. I think she brings him a. There's a lot of good options.
There are so many good options like this.
There's
Well,
so
some
many good options.
memento from this investigation, yeah.
Yeah, I think she is going to bring him back a. I think it's going to be a small toy rabbit to replace the bear that he lost.
Okay.
I like that.
Cool. I like
Nice.
that.
You accept that?
I like
cool.
that.
Cool, cool. Alrighty. Excellent. Let's go around and answer Dawn questions. Starting with you, Ross. Let me change the tunes here for a moment. Alrighty. So, Ross, let's take a look at what you got here. Did you answer a question? Yes. And this factors in
Yes.
last session as well. Did you resolve a threat? Yes. Did
Yes.
you experience an echo in the night?
Would you? The
I-
glass
I-
clinking.
Yeah,
with
I set up the
bowling
glass
pins?
clinking with the bowling pins.
Wait, remind me.
Do I myself have to set it up?
Yeah, you yourself have to set it up for yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then no, I did not.
So that means
No, I did not.
Jordan got the echo in the night,
Mhm.
but like,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
you had to set
Jordan
it up.
got the
Yeah,
echo
so that
night.
means Jordan
Yes,
got. So
yes.
you did not. Okay, that's okay. And like, I can't think of anything else that
Perfect.
happened. And did you solve a? Did you use violence to solve a problem? Yeah.
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 Yeah. I did.
And did you have a raw, passionate sexual encounter during which your feral nature manifested?
Definitely did.
All right. You get to mark 4 XP. That's in advance for you.
That is an advance.
So go
plus
ahead and
2.
while we're doing the others, go ahead and think about your other advances and which one you want to take. All right, Cal, let's look at you. Did you answer a question? Yes.
Yes.
Did you resolve a threat? Yes. Did you experience an echo in the night? Yes. You had some good ones in there. Did you well, no. Well, let's factor last session because you didn't have anything happen during this night
Yep.
phase. Did you secretly engage in a romantic or emotional behavior at odds with your aloof logical? I don't think you did that last session.
I know he got really mad at the kid for snooping during his dream time, kind of dropping that
Ooh,
the
veil.
emotional
that's true,
behavior.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, I think that's great. Yeah, you got really mad at Greco. That's right.
Mhm.
So go ahead and check that one off. And did you dismiss the possibility of a supernatural explanation despite everything you've experienced? I think I remember
he
you doing
dismissed
so.
The fishman with Taggart.
Yes, you were like, oh, how absurd. Yeah, wow,
It's
that's
ridiculous. Yes.
that's 5 the full slate of XP. You get an advance plus 3 other points in your track. Amazing. Go ahead and
Nice.
think about your
Yeah.
what advancement you want to take.
Oh God.
Let's look at you,
Oh my
Carla.
God.
Question, threat.
Yep.
Did you
Yep.
experience an echo in the night?
I tried when she was getting dressed at an echo to the bed that the first prostitute, the room the prostitute had.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm feeling
Yeah, because
you set that up for yourself. I'll be charitable. That's fine. I like that one. Yeah, I like that. That's
fair
cool.
enough. Okay.
Yeah, why not? Did you appear in London society wearing risque or avant-garde fashion? Yes, the peacock dress from
the
last
peacock
session.
dress.
The peacock dress you wore last session. I remember that.
It was a good time to pull it out.
It was. And did you secretly show a vulnerable side?
Oh,
yes, you
hell
did.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh
did.
hell, I did.
Oh hell
So
to that.
that's-
Yeah.
So
You
full
get
slate for me.
full slate. You get in advance. That fills your track.
Fucking solid.
That's amazing.
Fucking
Oh, what did I even do?
All right, Pyra,
I think I
last
know.
but certainly not least, did you answer? Did the hunters answer a question? Yes, even though you weren't here, you still get these benefits. Did you get their threat? Yes. Did you set up an Echo in the Night for yourself during this night phase?
I don't think I did. No, that's something I always kind of forget about.
That's okay. That's okay. Did you taste someone or something else's blood, sweat, or other bodily fluids?
I mean, I would argue that I probably got some of that vampire's blood on my face, but
even though it wasn't narrated, I'll be generous. I'll say that you probably did.
I did. And also,
you did
stab it kind of violently.
Yeah, you also drew blood on your lip with makeup on camera, so I'm gonna just give you points for being cool, and just give you that one.
Yes, it was cool.
And then, did you loudly curse your family's name? I don't believe you did.
Was the constable thing yesterday?
That was the session. That was the.
Was that the same day, or was that the?
It wasn't the same day, but it wasn't. No, yeah, it doesn't count here because there was a night phase between that and.
Damn, because if let's say I was definitely cursing my family's name then.
You definitely were.
Oh well, that's still 3 XP. I still take an advancement, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. You get the advance, and you also get to keep 2 extra points in your track. That's pretty good.
I already know what I'm taking.
All right. Oh yeah, we'll get to you in a second. Ross, have you decided?
I thought about upping one of my attributes.
Okay.
But I love moves so much, and I love showcasing the moves with these things. I'm a bit of a slag for moves. So I'm going to take, since I seem to have lost my big fuck off knife for some reason, I'm going to be taking fastest gun in the West.
I'm gonna go ahead and narrate what that move does.
When you take this move, add the 1851 Colt Navy revolver to your personal quarters. This item is never marked when using it to take advantage on a die roll. After a die roll, you can choose to mark it in order to re-roll 1 die of your choice.
That's cool. You got a nice fucking gun now. That's awesome.
Very useful.
Dr. Murdoch, what advance did you take?
Oh man, dude, I was like looking. I might write a custom move. And the custom move is going to exist only as a just in case, depending on what's going to like transpire.
Okay. So if
later.
you want to mark off the custom move thing, we can figure that out in the intervening week.
Yeah. But just know that the move is going to be called It's Alive. Just as a
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see it and hear about that, and we can work something out. Yeah. All right. All right. Carla.
I thought about it. I'm taking the collection.
Nice.
You have access to a collection of rare one-of-a-kind objects. When you take this move, select an item from the highlighted drop-down and add it to your personal quarters. If you ever use one of these items during a sensual encounter with another hunter, erase it from your personal items and add it to theirs, unmarked. You can select another item and add it to your personal quarters at any time by scarring your reflection. And in a thematic choice, given the end of the night phase for Carla, she has an apple.
Oh no, you have. Apple. I want to hear you say the full thing. Yeah.
An apple from the Garden of Even.
Is Carla Lilith?
I don't think so. You never know, though.
Oh my god.
The fuck?
Anyway,
you never know.
That's
oh my god! So you totally knew the language that Cal was speaking to the possessed boy at that time. Then, if you're that far back.
Anyway, we'll won't linger on that, but that's that gets the old thoughts turning. And Pyra, what advance did you choose?
Shit.
Another move. I'm picking Shrouded in Mystery.
What does that do?
Whenever you discover a mastermind clue, you may additionally increase your Hunt 0 counter by 1.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I'm just really trying to get the beast in play.
And speaking of the Hunt O count, because you resolve the Limehouse Lurker peacefully, you increase the Hunt O by 1. So that's up to a 2 now.
We're at 6, guys.
That's 6. Let's see if we can.
Oh my gosh.
When it hits 20, we're gonna have some fun.
We're gonna have some fun. Excellent. That's such cool advances, y'all. All right. You may now choose new Dawn questions for yourselves if you so wish.
You have a Janus mask I have to resolve.
Yeah, but that's at the end of the Dawn phase. We're getting there. Don't worry.
I'm just making sure that it's not forgotten like we did last time.
I can't wait to hear it. Ross, the quickening is now over. Dr. Murdoch, let's talk about your night work.
Yes. So I acquired myself 2 body parts and a clue.
Which clue prompt?
We're gonna go with the clue that you will give us. One that's for a threat that is for us right now, not a future threat.
Great. I will happily do that. I will do this is a choice. I either do the Pinkerton or I'll do the Creature of Cremorne Gardens.
Am I able to choose which one to give
No,
a
I
hint for?
pick it.
No,
I
you pick it out.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, yes.
Bill and Alex's world over here.
I'm gonna do the Creature of Cremorne Gardens because you guys don't have any clues for that one.
Very good. Very good.
That one's a little ignored.
No, we have clues for.
No, I
for-
said you don't have that many for the creature
that's true.
comparatively.
I was thinking about just getting 3 clues just right off the fucking bat. And I was like, no, I want some body parts. I want some body parts.
Man, you are speedrunning the child. Let's see. I see that during your night work, you came across. Let's see. There's so many good clues here. You found a piece of scrimshaw depicting a fish-like man rising from the water. And what 2 body parts for the child have you acquired?
We acquired the no-no square and we acquired the legs.
So sex organ and legs. Got it. This is going to be an interesting one. All right, Jordan. All right. All right, Jordan. As you hold these parts in your hand, Dr. Murdoch, give us some flashbacks, some like pleasant memories that are triggered from these parts.
So they're out
one
in the
for
forest.
each. Yeah, one for each. Which one is this first?
One for each.
Which one is this
for each.
first?
We're gonna go with the no-no square first.
Okay.
Just get that out of the way. They're out in a forest. Nearby, like kind of like some houses, like apartment complexes that drop off into a set of woods. They're just pissing in the woods, you know. Like it's just like they're taking a stop. Cal's like, I gotta pee. So they're both just kind of like on a walk, pissing in the woods. When they hear someone yell out, "Oi, piss off! Stop fucking pissing on our fucking trees!" Like this and that and this and that and this and that, and so they run away. And that kind of like, as Cal's head turns over from this into like the 2 pairs of like legs that he's holding along with him, they're just like, it kind of goes back to them running and jumping, past like rocks and jumping across like little logs and things, all while just laughing and panting along the way. It's a very pleasant memory, one that when Cal really thinks about it deeper, he just kind of feels this rage build up of just how it just wasn't fair. None of this was fair.
Thank you, Dr. Murdoch. Alrighty, Janus mask prompts that came up during the night phase. I think it was just Pyra who had a Janus mask? All right.
Yep.
Pyra, remind us of the prompt and tell us this flashback.
Narrate a flashback to the first time a family member grieved that they could never give you more. Imagine this all comes back to Pyra. As we come back, we've resolved the vampire. She's washing the blood off her face, getting her wounds patched. And she just stares into the fire as the scene fades away, and we look a little deeper into the past of our legacy. We see Pyra, just barely an adult, stumbling her way up a very familiar path. She, very much like she was, is covered in blood, but she's holding a wound on her side and she's breathing real heavy. She just barely makes it to the door of Hargrave House and opens it before she just collapses on the threshold. She can't keep herself up anymore. And the muffled sound of her body hitting the floor just rings throughout the house, and you can hear footsteps of other people being alerted. And the camera pulls back as a rapid set of heavy footsteps, along with who some of you, if you've been around Hargrave House for long enough, would know Pyra's older brother, Mikhail, who is still a resident, comes rushing out to his sister, and he's speaking in a language that's thick and heavy and Frenchy, I guess is the best way I could describe it. And he tries to get her up. He starts applying pressure to the wound, and everything he says to Pyra sounds like it's underwater. It's far away. She can't grasp the words. It's a swirl of dialogue until something catches her mind, and she just tears. I wish you didn't have to bear this burden. And the scene fades as she loses consciousness, as yet another hunt she's come back successful from, only to bring new scars.
Very well. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the day phase, where I will now introduce a new threat, since there are only 2 active threats in London. This new threat is called Figs Pigs. Pyra. The Fig family sent you one of their famous Figs Pigs, a meat pie with a little pig stamped on the crust. You enjoyed the first few bites before realizing it contained human meat. What gave it away? And yes, this is because you are most beloved.
I know. It tasted like pork, but almost too much. And it was just enough to make that feeling like to shake your very humanity as your fucking body knows exactly what this is and how wrong it is to eat. It was just instinct.
Amazingly. Well, you called Scotland Yard, and Mr. Fig was arrested. His wife and 2 sons managed to escape capture. Mr. Fig is being held at Bethlehem Royal Hospital. He won't tell the inspectors anything about where his family might be, though he has been singing a song about them. Sing a song of 3 figs, the apples of my eye. Snatch a batch of long pigs and bake them into pies. First comes little Patrick, about on paw or hoof. He thinks he is an animal and has since troubled youth. Obert the blade has fine taste, more than most I know. It has to be the right pig, see. The meat must be just so. My love, la bella Hortensia, the gravy to my crust. To hold that which she loved and lost, she'll do what she must. Sing a song of 3 figs, their names you now all know. You'll see them down old London town, and in the sack you'll go. Amazingly, Scotland Yard has asked for Hargrave House's help in capturing the figs. They want to keep the investigation of the Figs pie shop in Shoreditch fairly quiet without official police presence so as not to set off a pie hysteria throughout the city. You have come to the conclusion that Mr. Fig's song is a guide for how to find the other figs. It has helped you form some questions, the answers to which will lead to their capture. Here are those questions, and a special rule for this threat. All 3 loose figs must be captured or destroyed for this threat to be considered resolved. The first question is, what kind of animal does Patrick Fig think he is? That has a complexity of 2. What type of victim does Obert Fig prefer? Also has a complexity of 2. And the last question is, what did La Hortensia Fig lose that she's trying to recapture or remember? Also with a complexity of 2. And I'm going to say it's probably been like, a little over a week since our night phase. So there's been some time, and so this is kind of happened during the intervening week. And the mask for Fig's Pigs is the mask of the pig.
Makes sense.
So that's the new threat. Yeah. Let's see.
I'd like to say Pure spent the day she ate that fucking pie vomiting.
Oh, probably.
Please.
All right, hunters. What would you like to do today? Let's frame up some day phase scenes.
Cal Murdoch's gonna go to an open casket funeral.
Oh, who would you like to bring
and
along with
indulge in
you?
his vice. Who would like to come with me? I know you guys are riddled with conditions.
I think, yeah.
I'm actually doing fine.
Ross and Pyra. Ross is the roughest. Pyra has gotten only one condition that she's able to remove. So, up to you.
Okay.
Let's take Ross with you.
or if we, if someone wants to do something in the infirmary and Cal is more than willing to go with. Again, if you guys do anything in the infirmary with Cal or without Cal,
I mean, something tells you you're not going to want to do what I want to do with you in the infirmary.
don't do that in my infirmary, please. Oh God.
Oh, even with you, good doctor.
Not my infirmary. I have sterilized tools in there.
I only can really sterilize them. Just saying.
So, wait. So do you want to do an open casket funeral? Yeah, we can do that.
I think I'll wait. I want to see what everyone else is doing
Oh, sure, yeah, go
before
ahead.
I make a decision on
Yeah,
mine.
totally.
I mean, I'm planning to go investigate the cannibals that tried to turn me into a cannibal. So start getting that knocked out.
I think Carla's going to go back to Cremorne Gardens.
Okay.
And I am going to be working on my conditions. I'm going to be taking part in my vice, but I'm going to be utilizing my move, Cruel as a Harlot's Curse, which is I'm going to do it alone.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
cool.
Cal.
No worries.
Yeah. I think you've kind of noticed that like ever since like the night of the Limehouse Lurker, Ross has been very much on edge and has been spending a lot of time out of the house. And so I think, he's been spending a lot of time doing other things. Yeah,
and Dr. Murdoch, I mean, we got Carla going over to Cremorne Gardens, but before that happens, we could easily frame up a vulnerable move where you invite her to come with you to an open casket funeral since you accompanied her at a deathbed hospital. So we can and because she has a condition that she can clear.
We can do that.
Yeah, so we'll frame.
Other than that, I was also thinking about possibly taking advantage of Scotland Yard asking for our help and seeing if I can't find any extra information on Big Pinkerton Pants over there.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I love that. Yeah. And so Pyra, you're gonna go check out the figs at Bethlehem, also known as Bedlam. Excellent. All right, cool. Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. Great. I love that. Let's start with the vulnerable scene. We'll have a nice early morning open casket funeral wake. Set up the scene here, you two. I'd say that this is your vice, Cal. So you tell me. You set the stage, and are you angling to have Carla ask you about your past, or are you going to try to find a clue here?
This is open for you to ask about my backstory.
Fair enough.
Nice.
I'll keep that in mind.
So we walk into this place. It is for someone, someone that people keep calling Granny Bricard. We don't know what happened, but from what the doctor can assume just by looking at her, it looks like she did in fact die of consumption. The way that her face kind of sunk in, it's like, oh yeah, you rode this all the way out, didn't you? Oh, that's just so unfortunate. Like that sort of thing. Just little comments to himself, possibly consoling the other people that are there under the guise of also being known by Granny Bricard. And that's kind of how it starts.
Nice. Very nice. Then the scene is set. Live in the world. Have a nice little intimate moment at the site of this open casket funeral.
Carla came in morning dress. It's just polite.
The doc showed up in what he usually wears.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't quite catch on to that social aspect, but he's just kind of there. And at first he kind of starts off not really by saying much in the first place. So you can kind of tell that he's like fidgety a little bit.
Did you know her?
Me? No, not at all. I don't know the majority of them that I come to find.
Really? Well, I know you're a doctor, and I know that you work with, well, she just kind of motions to the casket.
With just people?
Well, with people, but specifically, well, those who typically aren't living. But can't leave work at work?
What do you mean? His hands kind of get like a little grabby to his side. He's perspirating.
Yeah. I just mean, you seem like a man who could do so many things, choose so many hobbies. Why keep coming back to work? Don't you have a life outside of all of this?
Would you believe me if I told you that I didn't? And that maybe I stick around because... I don't know, I know what it's like to lose someone, and if I can prevent it, sure, but... I mean, maybe there is benefit to losing someone.
I can understand that. It's hard. Being the one that survives. Being the one that always survives.
It's not very fair, is it?
No.
Having to be the one that survives, how people go, it's just so unfair. Kind of like a dark shadow kind of comes over his face.
You are the one left behind. It's quite easy when you're dead.
Maybe
There's
it doesn't have
nothing
to. And he kind of like he has a habit of talking over, so he kind of like straightens out and like looks over to you. What were you saying?
When you're dead, you're just dead. Doesn't really matter where you go, what happens. Funerals are for the living, Doctor. I think you understand that better than most.
Carla, do you believe in a god or gods?
Oh, I do.
Do you believe that they do in fact have their own powers to intervene, or do you think it's just hogwash?
It's more complicated, I think, than that.
It's always more complicated.
And what about you, Dr. Murdoch?
I read a lot of books, and I look into them all, and thoroughly I'm not convinced on the majority of them, but sometimes it almost feels like one of them just speaks to you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that they are having a continental breakfast on the next building over.
Yeah, incredible.
Hi.
Let me close there. That's amazing.
He invites her to breakfast before they
You may
go and
both clear an
investigate.
appropriate condition. I think for you, Dr. Murdoch, that's going to be the out of place condition.
Yeah.
And Carla, you can clear yours as well. Very nice. Let's indulge Mr. Fontenot. Ross, your cruel as a harlot's curse. You want to go ahead and roll with your vitality, sir? You're gonna have disadvantage on this because of your conditions.
Indeed. I'm feeling confident though.
Let's do it. Let's see what you get.
5, 4. I've got a +1 to vitality, so that is a 10.
Dang.
5 and a 4.
And that was with disadvantage?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
5
good.
and 4.
Love that. Alrighty, on a 10 plus, you get to choose. Oh, you clear a condition and choose one from the list below. So, which condition would you like to clear?
Cruel. On a 10 plus, I choose 2. Yeah, I clear a condition and then choose.
That's what I said.
one
Which
from the list
condition do you want to clear?
Hey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to clear drained, please.
Very good. Yeah. All right. Which 2 from that list would you like to take?
Let's see. I would like to stumble on a clue
Okay.
about our dear Pinkerton.
I love it. All right. Tell me what it is.
I probably see one of the guys that was with him that night at Cremorne Gardens.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's just sitting there and he's rambling onward and onward, talking about, all this and that. And he talks about how even though Taggart is staying at the hotel, he has set up like a forward operating base, so to speak, like a hideout in a broken down, like boarded up music shop in East London.
Okay, I love that.
And he's been taking meetings there.
Oh, that's really cool. Add that to the list. That's a very cool clue. And what second thing do you want to grab from that list?
Let's see.
I will. Yeah, I'm already looking at this list and I'm like, ooh.
I befriend a side character.
Okay, excellent. Which side character? I know last time I gave you the Man in the Sun mask, but I'm kind of down for like possibly even inventing a side character, because I don't think we really have any current threats that are like that have like an abundance of actually, well, oh, I got one in mind. If you had one in mind, go for it. But otherwise, I have a suggestion.
Take it away, Chief. Take it away.
You befriend a kid, a young street urchin named Rag with 2 G's. He's a side character from Fig's Pigs.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, so we'll say that during your time, you made a good impression on this boy. So like, if you want to ever speak to Rag, he is very friendly to you. Yeah, great.
Nice. Perfect. Good job, kid.
However, since you did not choose, you don't attract unwelcome attention, I take that as an invitation to give you unwelcome attention. So we'll get to that later. But let's. I want to hear from Carla at Cremorne Gardens. What are you looking to do there first?
What am I looking to do at Cremorne Gardens?
Yeah, another
That's
day.
a good question.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to wander about and whatever catches my attention, something that I haven't done yet at Cremorne Gardens.
What have you not
Place
done
I haven't
yet?
been. Place I haven't been. Someone I haven't met.
Yeah, let's take a look around here. There was the dancing platform is not currently. I mean, that's around there, but
That's
it's not much.
I know it's not active during the day.
Yeah, but you can
so-
still hang out around there, or if you want to go somewhere else, you totally can. That's really. Let's see. What people have you not interacted with? You interacted with Simon and Beulah last session, which was very fun. Oh, this is going to be perfect for you, Carla.
Okay.
You take a walk down by. Let's see. you're walking through the gardens, the promenade of the maze, and you spy an artist painting.
Oh.
That seems very much up your speed. This is a young man, a head of curly hair, handsome in a rackish way. He is currently got a little easel set up, and he is painting a vista of the canal front and bushels of beautiful late summer flowers and people walking about with parasols, steamboats out in the water. Quite a talented young man. He's just currently like sitting there, and he's like whistling like a soft tune to himself as he's just painting.
She went home and changed before she came to Camorran Gardens. You don't want to wear morning wear to Camorran Gardens. That doesn't. No, happens no. But I think she'll just saunter up to this young man, just kind of watch for a little bit, see how long it takes for him to notice her.
He doesn't like look your way, but eventually he says, I could paint you a picture. It'll last longer. It'll take a while too.
Well, I've got time.
He like turns around, like looks over his shoulder, and with like a kind of like light smirk, but he kind of like catches on your beauty and like kind of like just like looks you up and down and just kind of like gives you an easy smile, and he goes, "I'm not blocking your light, am I?"
Oh, of course not.
Glad to hear that. Continues to paint, looks over his shoulder. Would you mind holding this for me? He hands you his little paint tray.
She'll oblige.
Yeah, he kind of like leans over, dips the brush, goes about painting, and then kind of like takes like a little palette knife and begins like, do some extra like, detailing work on the painting, and just goes, "Yeah, that's looking good. Thank you so much." Takes it and goes, "So, you just admiring the scenery, or is there something I can help you with?"
Admiring, looking about. I was here yesterday and I met some wonderful, wonderful, interesting people. Trying to meet more wonderful, interesting people.
Oh, definitely plenty of interesting folks here at Camorran Gardens, that's for sure. Some of my neighbors, I live down here on the dock front, hate, some of them hate Camorran Gardens. Too noisy, too many drunkards, that kind of stuff. They work tirelessly to ensure Mr. Simpson will be denied when he tries to renew his license pretty soon. Frankly speaking,
really?
Oh yeah, frankly speaking, what's your name? Carla. James Whistler. Well, like I was saying, I think they're all fools. The gardens are totally original, and the possibility of a sea monster terrorizing the place makes it all the more enchanting. He
So
like kind of
how-
like he gives like a coy little whistle and points at his painting. He's in the water. He's painted a tiny little like dorsal fin popping out of the water, kind of like lurking in the background.
Well, how's about you paint my picture? We chat for a little bit.
Oh, give me a day move plus presence. What are you afraid of happening out of this situation, Carla?
She's afraid or worried that someone else is going to stumble upon them.
Ooh, I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Some unwanted attention.
Some unwanted attention. Reflective. Excellent. Yeah, go ahead and roll plus presence. You're absolutely leveraging your appearance here, so you get advantage.
Absolutely. Okay. That's a 10. Straight 10.
Hell yeah. Straight 10. Describe what it looks like. Describe. Yeah, quite literally, paint the scene.
Quite literally paint the scene. So I think Carla she brought a blanket, and she's going to spread the blanket out onto the grass. And the two of them are just going to have a nice little discussion as he paints her picture. She's wearing a very nice, Victorian summer dress. It's a little risque, just a little. It's a little see-through in maybe places it probably shouldn't be. But ultimately, it's a lovely morning that the two pass as he paints a very, very permissible sketch of her.
Very nice. I like that. Yeah, he's doing it with like charcoal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
Yeah, but you have a
Exactly.
nice, lovely, like I'm like you're in like really like lovely privacy, and you're like drawing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you looking to gain from Mr. Whistler here as he's painting this portrait of you?
She's looking to get just rumors, like anything that he knows about the creature.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, then in this case, now let's have this be an information move plus your. I like that we did the day moves, like make sure that you two are like kind of like private, not drawing eyes. Yeah. But now let's do an information move plus presence. I'll say this will not be leveraging your appearance. This is mostly just talking. So just a flat roll for information.
Okay, that is going to be 8.
8. Clue with a complication. Okay.
Fine by me.
Fine by you. Here, let me take a look at my clue list. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, this is a good piece of rumor. Yeah, he's like, sketching, and you're talking about rumors and stuff like that. And he's just like, I gotta tell you, the idea of this creature is just absolutely fascinating to me. I'm from Massachusetts originally, if you couldn't tell by my accent, but I came over here to London town, and got to say the inspiration is quite striking. I live over here on Cheney Walk, but we have our fair share of seaside legends and lore, I suppose you could call it. A fish man stalking a pleasure garden. It's just so interesting to me. But some folks don't buy into it. Some folks buy into it a little too much, if you know what I'm saying.
Of course.
But I hear rumors, I hear whispers, and you walk along, the canal, see some things. I admire art. I'm telling you what, this whole scene's gonna see a boom in art in the whole art community in the next few years. I can say it now. But saw some some graffiti. Not often they see graffiti on Cheney Walk, so I decided, something maybe, I don't know, avant-garde, or maybe some sort of, young student union kind of thing. But, no, are you familiar with, I've seen your face around these gardens the last, like a couple of weeks now. You familiar with that, bon vivant Albertina Welk?
Lovely, lovely woman to talk with.
That's certainly a word. Well, as the eyes have it, someone had painted Albertina will pay for this on down by Cheney Walk.
Really?
Seems like, not sure how that relates to the fish business, but certainly the most delectable bit of rumor mongering I've come across in recent times, aside from rumors of scales and teeth and all that. And I'm going to give you a complication here. Let's see, the clue of the complication, I'm going to take a look at your sheet very quickly. I want you to lose your luxuriously scented massage oils.
Just forgot them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I feel like that's yeah. I feel like they could that lose that item from your personal quarters. Like you could have lost them, or like maybe you used the last of them today, and
yeah.
It just, you're kind of out of them, and maybe you even like you pay this artist by handing them some of these like luxurious massage oils. It's like a little token of remembrance. He's like in for like the sensory experiences. Yeah, so we can just say that that's the complication here. That's like a trade off. He's like a little quid pro quo, and he goes, "All right, I see you," and then he sketches you and all that. That's a cool. It's a nice little soft, I like that one. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So that's what you get. Yeah, and you get some nice little conversation. He continues to sketch you. All right, I think we need to go to Bedlam. So let's jump over to Pyra. And Dr. Murdoch, after your vice, what else were you hoping to do today, by the way?
He was hoping to help take advantage of
Scotland Yard. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Scotland Yard.
Cool,
so he might be around the area.
Okay,
but he's not directly like engaged with whatever Pyra is doing.
We'll certainly get to that. Alrighty. So you're going to go to Bedlam Hospital to speak with the captured Mr. Fig, Pyra?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Fuck yeah, I am.
Okay. you show up to Bethlehem Royal Hospital. Sometimes surprisingly clean, other times not. Nurses and doctors dashing to and fro, wailing and chattering, coming from deep within. Here's a paint the scene question. In your estimation, are the patients treated well or treated poorly? Why do you think this?
I'm going to say treated rather poorly. I think that's just because of the smell of human filth, body odor, urine, feces. It doesn't smell clean like a place like this should be. It's nothing compared. It's not anything like Dr. Murdoch's infirmary.
Absolutely.
There is a woman who is giving birth in a part of this place, and she is screaming very loudly, and a nurse turns to another and says, "You got any brandy? You need to knock this one out."
There's a man shuffling through the somewhat busy street. He's coughing, he's hacking up a storm, and he's scratching like this weird kind of growth on the side of his neck. It kind of like pulses and wiggles with each movement and touch. It's very sickly. The rest of the people around him they're not bothered by it though. Almost like it's normal for stuff like that.
Love that.
There is a doctor that is dressed somewhat nicely with a white jacket, white coat, like doctor's smock, that is going around periodically to different orderlies and telling them to take certain patients to his laboratory for testing occasionally.
All very good answers. So, Pyra, you arrive at the hospital, and since Scotland Yard has asked for Hargrave's House's help in this matter, it is not difficult to, enter the hospital, and the doctors they know what's up because Scotland Yard has made it clear that people of your ilk are to be allowed about discreetly. You meet a physician here at Bedlam, a Dr. Rodney Walters, who greets you as you enter the hospital. He has this head of luxurious silver hair, smoking from a pipe with a Flying Dutchman motif. Extremely clean smell, practically like alcoholic sanitary, like chemically sanitary smell. Dr. Walters greets you, very politely. To shake your hand if you should so accept, and you don't. He just kind of goes, "Pleasure to meet you." Oh, very well. So you're the Rivia. That's right. Not the first time I've heard that name pass through these hallowed halls. So you're here to...
I'm sure you've got a lot of us when we're already dead. Let's cut the pleasantries. You're going to tell me what's going on.
Ha. Straight into the point. You remind me of that detective inspector who came along, which, by the way, I don't think I've ever seen a man's face be so red once he had to tell me the news that an outside investigative force of your associates would be involved here. It was quite
he hates that we do a better job than he does. I'm sorry, but we get things done. He just drags it out.
Yes. How very scandalous. I might have to... wonder if that's that shade of red medically concerning or not. That might be a paper in of itself. Sorry, forgive my rambling. Dr. Rodney Walters, pleasure to meet you. So you wish to see Mr. Titus Fig, one of my most exciting patients. Shall we? He gestures down a hallway.
Yes, I thought you'd never ask.
He says, it is a shame the other three got away. I mean, needless to speak of the danger that presents to the streets of London, but the loss, the academic community, is it would be so much more intriguing to have all 4 figs under our study. A family of cannibal murderers. It's simply fascinating.
A question for you.
Yes?
How much do you know about Hargrave House?
Oh, well, I know very little, though the name is somewhat familiar to me. I know that you tend to engage in independent investigatory work, and I also know that I'm more than happy to assist you in any way that I can.
What about the Rivias? What do you know about them?
Oh, family of some considerable, what's the word I'm looking for here? He kind of bites on his, chews on his pipe a little bit, and he says, the Rivia family has brought in, I should say, contributed to a number of the more violent patients being in here, and I've also had a number of individuals, delusional or otherwise, although pardon the term, who claim to speak of monsters and madness, and the Rivia name follows like blood follows the scene of a crime.
Yes. So then you should know you're probably not going to get 3 more cannibals in here, because something tells me they're not going to come alive. So spare me with this whatever nonsense of studying these people and actually tell me what the fuck is happening.
Very well. He kind of leads you down into in a wing, and he says, well, ever since you called in the coppers, as it were, and brought in Titus, Mr. Fig has mostly been non-responsive. He just sings his little song, and when you ask him anything, he just sings only that. A fascinating case, really. I don't think any of the literature has ever covered such. I mean, someone needs to write an article, and might as well be me. But no, he has not been very responsive at all, though maybe you'll have better luck. Here he is, and he takes you to this one lone cell here in the hospital. And you see within a great ogre of a man, but his hands are just so soft and pink looking, and the bluest eyes. He's just sitting there, pacing in his cell. Dr. Walter stands adjacent, chewing on his pipe, and just gives a nod of go ahead then.
I wave my hand. Let me speak to them alone.
Hospital policy, I'm afraid.
Hospital policy. I've been asked by Scotland Yard to be here. If you want me to do my job, get the fuck out of here.
He looks to an orderly and says, just keep an eye from a distance. I'll be around the corner. And you have an orderly in a white coat who just kind of it's a little bit further away, but is just saying their arms folded leaning up against the wall. So kind of out of earshot, but within maneuverability if he needs to interpose himself.
No, that's fine. I just didn't want this fucker trying to push his fucking paper on me. I'm trying to do my job.
For sure.
She'll approach the cage and the bars, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a metal door with a little view window with iron bars, and it's a little a padded cell.
And she'll she's probably got a ring or something with the Rivia family name on it, so she'll hit that against the bars to get his attention and see if he responds.
I feel like he looks at you. He turns his head from his pacing and looks at you, and when he sees it's you, he just gives you this wide smile to see that you are here.
So is it you who sent the little present?
I'm gonna ask you to give me a day move plus presence. I think the stakes here are pretty obvious of what you're afraid of happening should you fail.
I actually have a different thing for what you think I might be afraid of, and it's because of the part of London we're in.
Oh?
I'm afraid my investigation is going to be hijacked by a rival.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Oh,
I don't normally work on the set of London.
That's a really cool response. All right. Well, then give me a presence roll. I don't think battered and bruised gets in the way of this at all. So So give me and if you want to, do you have any personal quarters items you want to invoke to maybe get, if you can see an argument? I don't see. Yeah.
A personal quarters thing's gonna help. Yeah. What I just rolled.
What did you just roll?
That's a 5. Ooh. But I have a negative in presence.
That's a 4 then? Or is it still a 5? Oh, it's a 4.
It's a 4.
Oh, fascinating. Oh, that's so intriguing. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna do something fun. This is so very interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay. So here's what's out. This is gonna be a twofold thing. Okay, so on the one hand, oh, this is hard to say. Okay. Hearing your concern, I'm weighing that. I don't think the miss is going to trigger that, actually. That might come into play later, but for the sake of the consequence now, it's going to be twofold. One thing that kind of I'm going to give you a condition now. The other thing will happen in a little bit. And that first thing is going to be that when Mr. Fig looks at you, you know he's not going to talk to you, but there's a look in his eye, a malevolent look, a look that you, not only are you most beloved, but you are desired by the Figs. Do you want to live in this reality, or do you want to bump that with a mask?
I can't take another mask. I need to save some for when I'm like, it's either Pyra or a hunter might die. So
up to you.
So don't have my next mask prepared yet. So we're just gonna live here.
Okay.
There is the free one.
Oh, there's
absolutely not.
Oh, there's Mask of the Pig. No,
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I think I'm just gonna take my L on this one.
Okay. Okay, so here's what happens then. So you realize you're not going to get anywhere. He's not going to talk to you. And when you ask him, he's the one who's sent you the pie. He just smiles and he just begins to sing a song once more. He sings, "Sing a song of 3 figs, the apples of my eye, snatch a batch of long pigs, and bake them into pies." And you have the condition desired by the Figs.
Cool. Awesome.
And he just continues to sing his little song.
I'm gonna have to go vulnerable with somebody soon.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Walters walks up and he just says, "Indeed, as I told you, he's not saying a word. But perhaps you can come back later, try a new approach, maybe bring some more of your associates nearby. I can continue to try to ply him myself if it'll help your investigation."
Going to send someone else here. She's a bit better at talking than me. Besides, I think he's looking at me like he wants to bake me into something. It's not going to get anywhere.
Indeed.
If you have a breakthrough, contact Hargrave House. We'll be here as soon as we can.
Of course. Are you leaving the hospital for now, Miss Rivia?
I'm not getting money much from him, am I? Unless there's something else I need to see.
Understandable. Well, then, I wish you a lovely afternoon, and I look forward to seeing the rest of your associates. Let me know if you need anything from Bethlehem. Ha ha ha. I don't like that slur. And he...
maybe you should clean up your hospital and people wouldn't call it that.
Oh, what do you mean? It's freshly swept this morning. He, gestures at the floors.
I'm talking about the fact it smells like human shit in here, and that's how you can trail me off if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. You leave Bethlehem Hospital, and you're walking the streets afterwards. And you're like, down in, you're walking, let's say, an alleyway. I think we've established that Pyra just really likes alleys.
I'm not allowed to be out without a chaperone, so it makes sense that I want to be hidden.
And you hear, kind of trailing down behind you, the sound of like almost like metal grating against stone.
Behind me?
Coming from behind you, yeah.
She walks normally. After she recognizes the sound, she walks normally, doesn't notice it for about 2 seconds as she's just, Just stretching her arms out, reaching into her boot, taking out her dagger, and fucking turning around.
There is a silhouetted figure standing in the dark, dirty alleyway behind you, several feet back. You see a shape of someone like wearing like a little hat, a kind of like a long coat on. With like, big sleeves, and a butcher's knife the size of your, like, as long as your leg, is being held in like one hand and is being dragged against the cobbles behind this figure. In the little bit of hazy, daylight, you see this man wearing this long, bloody apron, and he sees you and gives you this big, oily smile. And he takes a step forward towards you, and he says, Pyra, I presume.
Fuck's asking.
You got up high.
Oh, and you saved me the trouble of having to hunt you down. You gonna come quietly, or do I need to take your legs?
Try to speak to father, did you?
Crazy old man. Couldn't say anything but a little song. Looking at me like he wants to eat me. I'm not really questioning cannibals.
There's no... He takes like a step closer towards you. There's no such thing as crazy. Pyra.
I think I'm seeing crazy right in front of me.
Oh no, there are only two states of being in this world. A piglet suckling at the teat of Moch, swollen and happy, or food for the trough. Which will you be today, Miss Rivia? I wonder. Will you join me at the breast of the great Hisao? Or shall we grind up your blood and bones for the slop?
What are you talking about?
And he begins to walk closer towards you with purpose, dragging the knife behind him.
I will pull both my fucking sabers out.
Obert
I'll
Fig.
put the dagger away.
Obert Fig is going to attack you. Unless you wanted to try talking now. Like, what's your tactic here? Are you like fight him and fuck?
I'm fighting this motherfucker. Pyra's not a talker, guys. We know this. Pyra ain't a talker.
Oh, absolutely.
We might not have to answer a question. We just, just fucking get him.
I love this. I'm gonna say with the heightened danger of the situation, this is gonna be a night move. Because this is because you rolled a miss. This is a hard reaction on my part. So why don't you? You want to roll? This is going to be plus your vitality. What are you afraid of happening here? Should you fail in your fight against Obert the Blade?
I think I'm not afraid of him killing me. I'm afraid of him taking me.
Ooh.
That seems like it's worse.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so you're not afraid. He will take you, and it's worse than that because, he will take you somewhere that none of your friends will be able to find you in. You will have no help. All right. You want to hold true to this. All right. And I think battered and bruised is going to affect you. You are hurt badly from your previous interaction.
Vampire.
So you get the disadvantage there. Do you have any? Can you use an argument for one of your personal quarters items for advantage on this?
I'm looking to see what I can do.
Can you use your combat yo-yoed? Like maybe.
I'm trying to figure out a way for that, but if both my hands are taken by my sabers, no, I can't justify having another weapon. As much as I would love it. I have plans for that, Bandaloran. It's not here.
So you're gonna roll disadvantage?
Yeah.
Take the disadvantage. But this is with vitality, which is what you're good at.
Yeah, no, vitality. I'm not as scared.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an 8.
Okay. An 8 on a night move. There will be a complication or a cost. I will describe what it looks like. Obert the Blade descends upon you, Pyra, with this long butcher's knife and attempts to run you through and carve you up like a slab of meat in this back alleyway, all the while flashing you that thin, greasy smile. But you fight back using your blades, and you get a couple licks on him. He's taking a beating. He is going to... You throw him to the ground at one point. But he is going to take his long blade and he slashes at your legs. And you feel a deep burning cut in your leg, and you'll take a condition. However, because you have 3 conditions already, this means you are forced to mark a mask. And so you take the condition hobbled from him cutting at your Achilles heel, or a tendon, I should say. Yeah. And you may replace one of the 2 conditions, battered and bruised and desired by the figs, with hobbled. But because this would be a 4th one, you have to mark a mask.
I know which mask I'm marking.
Which one? Mask of the Pig or one of your own personal masks?
Personal mask.
Okay, which one would you like to mark?
I think we're going to mark my next Mask of the Past.
Amazing. And we'll get... All right.
And I'd like to narrate that now.
Yeah, let me resolve the rest of the scene, and we'll do that. But despite this grievous wound he deals to your leg, your blood hits the cobblestones. You lay into him hard and heavy until eventually Obert, dragging his blade behind him, retreats from the fight and sprints down a side alleyway into the dark, misty shroud, and he is gone. And we are going to actually bring this chapter of The Between to a close tonight. We will end with Pyra's flashback narrated, and then I'm going to narrate a little scene before we end.
Okay.
And then next week we will resolve the rest of these day phase actions. Go ahead, narrate the flashback.
As this butcher runs away, Pyra's sabers hit the ground. The cobbles are slick with her blood, and she slumps to the floor, to the ground, with her back against the wall. And the dripping of her blood takes her back to the worst day of her life. The scene fades as we look at Pyra. Maybe a few years ago. It's recent. She's an adult. She's on the ground, very much how she is now, but much more badly wounded. Very intense wound on her abdomen. And she is being held back while she is screaming in a language that you don't know. It's deep. It's crunchy. It's guttural. And there was the sound of wet tearing. As the camera fades back, you see the person holding her back is someone none of you recognize. Unless you've ever been in Pyra's room and you've seen the severed finger. He bears the same symbol that is on that finger, on the ring. The rival of Hargrave House, of the Rivia family. He's holding her back, not in a malicious way, but you're too hurt, you can't help him. And as the camera looks back, there is a mirage of mist. 1,000 faces, but none at all. And in the middle of it, there is a person Pyra's age, with a face identical to hers. Her twin brother being torn apart by the beast. Forgot to say that my prompt was to narrate the day that the beast tore the person most in front of me apart, most important to me apart. So
Mikhail is dead. All right, good to know.
Not Mikhail.
Oh, not Mikhail.
Mikhail is her older brother. Damir was her twin.
Damir was her twin. That's right. Thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah, Mikhail is the one that's still alive. Damir was the twin that comforted her when her uncle hurt her.
Well, as this thought comes to you on the bloody cobblestones, we're going to pull away from London. But before we end, I need to narrate a scene elsewhere. Outside of London, we return to Brathwaite Hall in the countryside. It's been a while since we've been here. Once more, we see the gargantuan estate grounds of Theodora Brathwaite's sizable estate. And we see rows of hedge flowers, blue roses. We see a young woman mounted on a horse with a fox hunting rifle, riding and gallivanting towards the woods. And inside the house, we go once more, but not to the gargantuan study from before. Now we go somewhere else in Brathwaite Hall, a large, like darkened meeting space, it's like a dining, a grandiose dining room where all like the shades have been drawn, and you see Theodora Brathwaite seated at one end, her sapphire choker glinting in the lamp light she has lit in the absence of the sunlight, and she is staring keenly across the table, and she says, "I must admit I am so very intrigued, and I'm glad to see that you are a reasonable sort. I think you and I can muster great work together, and I was hoping, should you be acquiesceable, that you will find my terms to be very lucrative. What do you say? Do you think we can work together?" And the camera pulls back. It never turns around, but we see as it pans back a shape, a silhouette, a Piscean form, fins, webbed fingers, fish-like assemblages. And you just see Theodora smile and says, "Oh, this will be most exciting. I will now announce the creature of Cremorne Gardens may no longer be investigated. It is now a servant of the mastermind."
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, did we take too long to deal with it?
Nope.
Nope.
Just part of my thing is that I pick an active threat, and I now decide it is now a servant of the mastermind. It may no longer be investigated.
Oh, fuck!
Wait, is that a mechanic that the mastermind can just do? They can just pick up an active threat?
Once they reach a certain threshold, they can pick an active threat, one active threat.
Any active threat?
any-
Like, for example, the Pinkerton could have been picked to work.
She could have picked the Pinkerton, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
So
Don't like that at all.
she has picked the creature of Cremorne Gardens, so it may no longer be investigated as an active threat. It also doesn't count as an active threat anymore. And as you'll see, I'm going to mark it here on our threat sheet. The creature of Cremorne Gardens is now a servant of the mastermind. However, you can still look for clues and answer questions about it. You can just know you can never resolve it anymore. And I will let you know this: if you don't answer the questions, I get to answer the questions myself and decide.
Oh.
So if you want to continue looking into it and figuring out the nature of it, then yeah, that's what we're going to do. Otherwise, I get to answer it. So that brings us to a close for this week's chapter of The Between. Thank you so much for watching, distinguished guests, hunters. Thank you as well. And we will return same time, same place next week for chapter 7 of The Between. Who knows what horrors we will have in store. Until then, sleep well and rest easy, for the night is dark and full of fishmen.
What in the shape of water?
Yeah.